Here we are in the Make It Happen Network, strategy number 12, eliminating fear. Now this is a big one because certainly we know that fear holds so many people back. How do we go about this process?
Richard, this is something obviously going to take more than a video. It'll take people reading the strategy, it'll take people listening to the recording and really working on this. But fear is what holds most people back. And most people do not realize it and or don't want to confront that because it's a word that challenges them. It challenges who they are. I'm not really scared. I'm not really fearful. We're all fearful. We all have fears in life in different ways. And the old acronym, false evidence appearing real, is really what fear is. It's a fear of something, or we're scared of something that in essence, once we get through it, we realize there was nothing really to be scared of in the first place. So we have to confront that fear. And we'll talk obviously about that as we're discussing that. But the way to get through fear is to confront the fear itself.
Right. And otherwise, we're going to continue to live with that fear.
Yes, sir.
False evidence appearing real. I know that some people have a real challenge with confront. I know it used to be for me, I really didn't like nasty conversations or difficult conversations. And it's amazing how you can build something up to be huge in your head, which really it's just a conversation.
Absolutely.
So what do we do to recognize that false evidence really is false?
Yes. Well, one of the things that we talk about many times throughout the strategies is what is the one thing that's holding you back from accomplishing the things you want to accomplish. It's usually your fear. I'll give you an example. My fear in life was public speaking at one time. I was asked to speak in St. Louis, Missouri, flew up one time, 400 or 500 people, to talk about what I was doing when I was in practice. When I stood in back, and I was really big on it, I thought it was going to be great. When I stood in back of the room and I looked at the 400 or 500 people, I started freaking out. I literally freaked out. They told me I had 45 minutes. I planned for it for 45 minutes. I finished in about 7 minutes. And I got one of these little across the room, left, completely embarrassed, literally sick to my stomach, swearing I would never, ever speak again. The problem with it is that if you are passionate about something, if you're really called to do something in your life, it's hard to run from it. And every time I turned around, I was being confronted with that. I was being confronted with another opportunity or another time that I needed to do it. And eventually, once I really got through that fear, I realized that speaking to a multitude of people is no different than speaking to you. It really isn't. It's just in our mind that all these people are examining us. They're all looking at us. We have to perform and all. And it's really not the case. We just need to be ourselves and express ourselves and get through that fear. So we have to confront that. And it's usually the one thing that's holding you back from being a peak performer in your life.
So eliminating fear, in your mind, is really a pivotal, crucial point. In order to be a peak performer, you have to just say, okay, this is the thing I'm afraid of, and therefore I'm going to challenge this.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You have to challenge it. I know it's difficult. I know it's hard. And it may even be impossible in your mind, because I don't know what your fear is. But whatever it is, my suggestion or my recommendation to you would be, try to confront it one time. Really confront it. Not just, okay, I'm going to confront, oh, okay, I tried. No, I don't mean that. I mean really confront that fear one time and see what happens. The majority of the time you're going to look at it and say, wow, there really wasn't anything to be scared about in the first place.
And it seems as though if we gain some kind of an expertise, some kind of a skill, that goes along with, and I know that when I was very young and I broke my leg playing soccer, I was stuck in traction, and some robbers tried to break into my father's home, and I was the only person who could hear them, and I couldn't move.
Oh, wow.
And it was very frightening, and I had developed this kind of a little bit of a phobia, which I think was partly the reason why I was so attracted to martial arts. And then after getting all that training, I might still get a little bit scared, but it is nothing like what it was before when I wasn't willing to confront it.
That's exactly right.
Now I go out there and fight with all my buddies.
But you confronted your fear. And odds are you got into martial arts. That's something that I did a long, long time ago. But you never really had to use it. When you got into martial arts, it created your confidence. built your confidence up, built your self-esteem up, you confronted your fear, and all of a sudden the fear went away, and the martial arts just made you a better person. It's not something you had to use against the robbers.
That's exactly right. Not only that, in fact, our teacher tells us the best fight is the one you walk away from.
Exactly.
So, without anybody being hurt. So that you're exactly right. Now, for all the people that are watching, though, that are saying, "Oh man, but you don't know what mine is," what do you say to them? What do you say to encourage them to challenge it?
I would say this, and I do understand that question because I've said that same question, and some of our fears are embarrassing. I've seen grown men that are built like brick houses, scared of little mice that run on the ground. I mean, I've seen it. Okay? I've seen the phobia of spiders, arachnophobia of people that are huge men, or ladies that are very well educated, and men that are well educated, but they have a phobia and they have a fear. Mm-hmm. And all I can say to you is this: regardless of what yours is, and you may think it's worse than someone else's, it's really not. It's still a fear, and it's still holding you back from becoming all that you want to become. And odds are that other people have had that same fear that have gotten through it. What I would encourage you to do is to confront it. And if you can't confront it, find someone who had the fear that you have, that has confronted it, and then let them help encourage you and hold you accountable to get through that fear. I hate to use the word guarantee, but I will absolutely assure you this: if you will confront your fear will lower in size, and that giant will become a small leprechaun in appearance to you as to what it looks like now.
So, big question for you, switching gears a little bit. What do people do if what they're afraid of is success?
That is a good question. And I think that's what holds a lot of people back. They're afraid of success, but I really believe it's not the success itself they're afraid of. That they're afraid that they're going to lose friends and or family, or what other people are going to think of them, and the acceptance of them in a successful mode versus the mode that they're already in. And my encouragement to people would be this, and all of us have went through this, if we've ever went from being unsuccessful to successful, for lack of a better word. And that is, those people who really love you, if they really love you, will accept you. And those that do not really love you and may only love being able to bounce off negative comments with you and associate in a negative way may end up leaving from your life. And you may not understand it now, but you'll be better off because of that, if that's the case. I would encourage you to be everything that you can be, that you were designed to be, for yourself first, and then for other people, as opposed to being everything that you think you need to be for other people and putting yourself second.
So, last words on this topic. It's such a big one.
It's very big. It's very big. It's hard to even put last words on that because it's an ever-ending topic. I would just say to make sure that you find someone that either helps you to be accountable toward that fear, or try to go out and confront that fear yourself. But whatever you do, don't allow fear to overcome you. If you do, ultimately it will continue to grow larger and larger and larger and box you in to the point where you'll never be able to do the things that you want to do in life because of that fear. I know people right now that are scared to fly today, that'll never be able to see the world, never be able to go outside the mainland of this country, never, because they're scared of flying. Nothing's ever happened to them. They've just heard of what could happen. And by confronting that fear, all of a sudden the world becomes their oyster. If they can confront that fear and get over that, the world becomes their oyster. I have people in my own family that are scared of flying, that have never flown before, never had an experience before. It's just totally a phobia that they've self-created.
Very, very tough, and yet so necessary to challenge fear, challenge it, eliminate it, and move on. There you have it from the Make It Happen Network, and we'll see you next time.